Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Flying with Mike special. Uh, Decided to do just a little pop-up stream here from rainy Philadelphia, up to Rockford, Illinois, one of the regional hubs, if you will, for PS. We'll be flying for Mac Air today, exclamation mark Mac Air if you want more information. Also, exclamation mark 767 will give you information on this bird in the chat room. But anyway, this is the Flight Factor 767. And to be honest with you, I can never remember the actual version I have. Because I bought the in-between one. So I'm pulling it up as we speak because I didn't think I'd talk about it. That's what I always get for thinking. All right, so yeah, we are flying the Flight Factor 767 Professional Extended version, and this is version 1.6.12, the supposed latest, greatest version of the 767. It's a nice airplane. I know a lot of people out there like to complain. Usually I like to complain, but this one, it's actually pretty good. I mean, there are little things you got to work around, but overall, folks, it's really a great aircraft. So if you're really looking for a long haul kind of aircraft that's not big per se, it's got long legs. Don't get me wrong. She can fly some heavy routes, but it's pretty easy to operate. We'll go through one of the quirks here as we do the pre-flight, but it's nothing really intense. So, but again, it's a rainy day here. We're going to try VATSIM today, although with the rain and with any traffic here, this could be problematic in staying online till we get at least out of the traffic. And we're also on the StarSim scenery for Philadelphia. Beautiful scenery, folks. I highly recommend it. Really well done. They also did St. Louis. So, all right. So let's hop up in the cockpit here. See what kind of damage lays ahead of us. All right, and to do our pre-briefs, what I like to use, folks, is a great free tool out there called Sim Toolkit. Bunch of tools in the toolbox here, from flight planning to for streamers who are wanting a nice moving map to show the weather and all around them and whatever else they like to actually being a great teaching tool. It can help you with, it won't help you make better landings, but it'll show you areas you might want to work on to make those landings better. I think I said that in a nice way to help people out because it really, folks, it's free. And it has a couple of little extras that Volanta doesn't have. Volanta has a couple things Sim Toolkit doesn't have. You know the battle, folks. They're always trying to find their little niches, and this is a great tool. So, right now we're in the what we call the flight summary page. Okay, now this has evolved over the many. Well, it's been up here for at least 2 years, and it's been changing a lot. Um, so, all right. So real quick, I'm going to do a check, and oh, they're back. Well, no, they're not. I was thinking the weather was back, but no, it's not. I don't know what servers they go after for the weather here at Sim Toolkit, but they have been down. Looks like they're still down, and or changed or whatever. It happens out there, folks, but hopefully they'll get things on track. However, we do have an ATIS here in Philadelphia, which will help out to some degree. All right, now when an ATIS comes up, that usually means there's ATC, which usually has put an ATIS up. This does not work off of D-ATIS. We'll talk about that down below here in a second. 080 at 14 is the wind, 3 miles of visibility. Yeah, we saw it's raining. And no, that is not the X-plane thing that I love to make fun of. It really is raining here pretty hard. Got a scattered layer of clouds at 800, into the clouds at 1200, and all the way up to, I'll be totally honest, oh, to 1700 is the overcap going. I'm looking at that trying to figure it out. Overcast 1711. I'm like, what the? I got it, 1700 feet. The other thing to take note of, folks. Oh, excuse me, the temperature dew point separation there. There is none. So the rain, you can see where that's from, or potentially fog. We'll depart 9 left, or 8, or 35, and we'll operate on Mode C when on all taxiways and runways. But yeah, you can tell, yeah, it's raining here. But the heaviest of it has moved east and the lighter is moving in. So, let's see. And the green in here, yeah, that's all VATSIM traffic, folks, which could lead to troubles. All right, loadout. All right, now this is where that little quirk I talked about, folks. I don't even know if we can call it a quirk. It's just the way it is with flight factor. The payload is 100,930 pounds. That's no problem. Where the problem comes in, we'll show you in a second. Zero fuel weight today will be 298,900 pounds. We're putting on block fuel of 35,140 pounds. So you can see what that adds up to on the ramp. Not a real long flight, not anything, drawn out that we're worried about weights. We got 3 people on board and 100,300 pounds of cargo. All right, ATC routing, you can see. Actually, I'll make it a little easier on the eyes. It'll be in the chat room in a second. And then down at the bottom, we're going to cruise at flight level 320. At a cost index of 80. Okay, so that's our flight today, folks. Now, I mentioned D-ATIS real quick. Folks, I'm going to put this little website up here. I highly recommend it when you're flying. I don't care if you're on VATSIM, POSCON, Pilot's Edge, pick your choice. Real world. You already know about this. I believe you already have software built into either your iPads you bring on or whatever to be able to pull the weather up. Well, in the flight sim world, we didn't have this. Now, please pay attention. Do not use this site for real world flight navigation. Use ForeFlight and everything it gives you there. Okay. Now, for this, anytime you come across a chart for an airport. Here, let me pull one up for you. Here, let me just do it this way. Okay, this will work. You just pull this flight in real quick. Let's just say we're on the RNAV 21 for Casper. Okay. This is not a good example because it's not there. Standby. Unload and edit and delete. All right, let's go to an airport. Well, let's just do JFK. Easiest one out there. Let's get some charts. We'll pull up, what the heck, 4 left. Sounds good. All right, here we go. All right, so as you look at the briefing strip up here, folks, and that's what the top half of the chart is, you're going to get your ATIS. Okay, you'll also see this on a star. See, you got your ATIS up here, always in the, usually in the upper left-hand corner. Don't want to say always, because sometimes somebody has fun and goes, let's make it on the other side. No. But what you're looking for is when it says this, D-ATIS. When it says that, you can then go to that site, and then you guys that fly for real aircraft, no, you can go into ForeFlight or on your FMCs, pull up the ATIS, okay, and X out. So that's what you'd be looking for. All right, so close that, bring this back up. So we are in Philadelphia. So let's scroll down, look for the ICAO, PHL. Look at that. There's actually two at a lot of the really big airports. We're talking JFK, Orlando, Atlanta, O'Hare. They'll have a departure arrival. Otherwise, like St. Louis and a few others, it's just one. But they have two separate ATISes here in Philly. We're on the departure side. Here's the arrival side. So this is only going to deal with us leaving the airport. All right, so as of 1841, which is 3 minutes ago, they had a special running there. It's 100, winds 100 at 12, 5 miles, light rain, drizzle, and the sky is broken. Yeah, it's broken, all right, over Philly. It always is. Oh, wait, that's totally different. 900 feet and overcast 1,300. 12 degrees, temperature 11. Again, always pay attention. But with this strong wind, that will help to decrease the chance of fog. All right, so we're departing. 9 left, 8, and 8. They don't even throw that other one on there. Here's your tower frequency. Now, this right here, folks, condition code, that tells you what you're landing on. It's wet. But can we stop? If it's 1, if you see a 1, you better get ready to slide away, because braking action's more than likely what we call nil. 5s, that's a good. 6 is bone dry, which you normally won't see. But when you do see codes at a 5, a lot of chances it's because it's wet, or the conditions don't warrant us to put it to where we're at like a 3 or a 4 because of snow or ice. Okay, so that gives you an idea how bad is it going to be to stop. You know, rejected takeoff, folks. Or rolling down the runway at 150, 60 knots to get airborne can get real slippery real quick. Talk to NASCAR or Indy or Formula, depending where you're at. So, but there you have it, folks. This is a great tool. All right, so I've spent enough on this. Let's get the plane going. And then I can also bring SimBrief up here. You saw NavGraph, and then this comes with this Sky Vector. Folks, this is a free tool on the web. You can plot your routes on it, see what you're going to see, just like you would on a sectional, especially if you use like Kansas City. If you use World in front of it, what they've done is kind of in computer ease taped the maps together, and you can just fly it coast to coast with one map instead of 10 maps. Who knows? Really great utility. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Sim Toolkit. Now let's get into that little, not that one, I want that one. All right, now let's get into the actual loadout here. First off, something's driving me nuts. There we go. We'll get it on the other side here. Easiest way not to have a problem. There we go. All right, loading the airplane is that issue. All right, when you load this aircraft, we saw we have 100,930 pounds of payload. You can get the EFB either here or there. Same thing. The only thing different here is you can actually specify where you want to go in the tabs. Let's go to Ops Ground. This is where you load it, folks. first off, to be able to load it, I don't care if it's passenger or cargo, you have to have some minimum ground equipment out there. Okay, you have to have, unless you're at a gate configuration in the passenger, stairs. If you're in passenger, you would need a bus to get the people out there and get the people on there. Fuel truck, GPU, LSU. Once you meet all of those things, you're good. In cargo, you need stairs, chocks, LSU, GPU, fuel truck, ACU is not required. I only have it hooked up because it's what's cooling the cargo bay or warming it in this case. And of course, the cargo loader unit. What does that look like outside? Why, it looks just like this, folks. All right, on this side, here's your LSUs. This comes, the baggage truck, just because your GPU stairs. Here's your cargo unit. Now, if you do turn this on in the passenger, it'll be back here with the bulk load here. This is your air conditioning unit plugged in to cool the aircraft, warm the aircraft. And I know you all don't know what that is. Yeah, it's a fuel truck. If not, I'll show it to you on the side. But anyway, that's what it looks like on the outside. All right. And again, now we'll go from this way to pull it up. And I told you I can pick which tab I want to go to. All right. So once you have the basics in place, now what I do first off, go to maintenance. Perform your maintenance, get it over with. Basically, it's just fixing and, tidying it up. All right. Second, 0 this number, 0 this number, type 0, enter, 0, enter. I've already done it, that's why you don't see it. So here's where it gets interesting. As you read the screen, I can already hear you say, well, if I put 10 pallets at 2,930 pounds on, I will add up to that. Actually, no. You'll add up to 29,030 pounds-ish. So what's going on? What Flight Factor did with this, freighter only. Okay, now when you put in the number of passengers in the passenger versions, that's what you get. And then you offset it with your bulk weight to get your zero fuel weight. That's basically what you're doing here, except each pallet you put in, each of these green dots, 9,800 pounds. So if you take your payload, cargo version payload, so if you're flying the 767-300F and you have pallet number, take your payload, divide it by 9,800. This case, it came up something like 10.2 something. Okay, well, we'll put 10 pallets on the plane. Now, how do we get to 0.2? Very simple. And it's about as much math as this guy is capable of anymore. Go back, find out what your zero fuel weight for this trip is supposed to be. Your sim brief will tell you. Okay, minus the zero fuel weight currently on board by what you just did with these two. Whatever that difference is, folks, stick it in the cargo weight. Now, if you did leave the 6,000 in there, that defaults in, I believe it's 6,000, then your numbers are all skewed. That's why I said zero both of them. But then you'll get up to our desired zero fuel weight for this trip, which is 298,930 pounds. Boom. That's how it works in Flight Factor. Now, the fuel, just put the number in, 35,140 pounds. Okay. Pretty simple, easy peasy stuff after that, except one step. Okay. think will optimize. I didn't optimize before loading. Dang it. Then you just click load, unload. Boom, done. You're out of here. That's simple. Till you're ready to start buttoning up the airplane. Okay, so I think I've pretty well hammered that in, and hopefully you all understand. Now, where we're at in the process here, I have already powered the plane up. I have already aligned the IRS, and if you didn't know that, it's because you see this colored in. Also, you could go up here, oops, too high, and there's nothing going on here, but if I go click, click, oh, look, we have coordinates up here. So yeah, we're done. All right, so let's continue on, load the flight, and get out of here, shall we? Okay, today's flight is UPS 1018. Hang on a second, folks. Okay, why am I not? Oh, I know why. Oh, I could have done it right from there. Stupid me. Hang on a second. Is that true? Now let me try it. Forgot there was. There it is. Route loaded. I forgot there's a in Flight Factor, folks, and I believe Rotate. They actually have flight plan folders in the aircraft, so you got to point the loader to that location. Yeah, and this guy did not do that. Whoops. Got rid of my. Well, that was just not nice. All right, so let's go look at it before we activate it. How's that sound? Okay, let me go to that. All right, so let's just kind of step through looking at it. Then we'll activate it. All right, looks good to me. Okay, we'll go back to route and activate, execute. Now, we could have done it this way as well. Just looked at it and said, yeah, I think it's good. All right, so now let's get in here and bring up the routing. Bear with me a second, folks. I'm just resizing my window here so we can see it better. All right, so we've got the program charts up. The same program that I put to Sim Toolkit. Well, this is the desktop when you have it set up on your desktop. All right, we'll first import the flight. There we go. And there's our routing again. All right, so let's first, we do have a departure available for 9 left. Remember, we're going to go on the screen from the left to the right. So we're going out as if we're going out to sea. We will not go out to sea, hopefully. So let's do this. Let's click select. There's only one possible. It's a straight out departure, Philly 3, and then we get vectored away. Okay. Probably to MXE if I remember my flight plan right. Yes, to MXE. So either a left or right hand turn will take us there. So let's go ahead, add it to route. So now it's added to route, and the best way to get to MXE would be a left turn direct. So we'll select 9 left, Philadelphia 3. Execute. Looking at our legs page, but we're still in map. Just want to make sure there's no big discontinuities. This just says we're going to continue on a heading of 087 till told to turn. Then once we turn, most likely it'll be direct left or right to MXE. All right, so that filled that gap in. Okay, now I am going to, okay, we are off that. Okay, so we get to CPONE. Here we start flying the quote 1 arrival. Now, currently things are lining up as of 16 minutes ago for 170 at 12. So what kind of runway lineups do we have here? Well, we have two pretty good lengths of runways. We have an 8,000 foot runway 191, and we have 257. Okay, we say our winds are 170, so that really favors this, but that's a heck of a taxi. But, you know, in this day and age, we may have to do that. So, right now, I'm going to plan 1-9er. Okay, so with that in mind, what do we have for approaches? I have a back course and an RNAV. Oh, yippee. All the fun kinds of approaches that I hate. All right, hang on a second. I am going to cancel out of this. Ooh, yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll probably do the RNAV. Probably to this fix here. Now you can look at the chart. So if we go out to Papo, we can make our turn, come in, slowing, and turn inbound. That's what we'll do. Again, we can add it to the route here, which puts the chart down in the bottom, which you can't see, but it is down there. And you can see from Yalo, it's Chicago. They don't know how to pronounce. It's kind of like Boston, you know. They got that lang to it. It's Chicago. I don't even know what Chicago has besides lucky to be above the water and not in Lake Michigan. But anyway, I digress. By the way, Boston, I actually like your accent. That's kind of neat. It's a kind of a twist between Jersey and New York. Mixed together gives you Boston. Boston. All right, pop out to wag it and then in. So what we'll do over here, go to the departure arrival page. Index, because you saw it was still set up for Philly. RFD arrival. We are going to do, well, wait a minute, let me try this. It's been really giving me fits here of late. Uh-oh. Oh. There we go. I'm sorry, I was kind of confused. I'm used to RNAV 19 Papo. Boom. Now let's check our legs. There we go. I had a feeling at least one. Okay. Two yellow. Let's check these out real quick on the chart. All right, so we're coming in from here. We'll go to Zap to quote to YOLO. YOLO, man. Then we're going to vector on a heading of 010 till told to go direct. Pow. Saw the discontinuities. That's what you're looking for, folks. That's where people run into trouble when you hear them on VATSIM. Oh, my FMC screwed up on me. 9 out of 10 times you hit a discontinuity and you got to go direct to the next fixed, or 2 or 3, depending where, how your route is set up. And that's what a lot of times happens. Hit execute. And then our missed approach for 19 looks like this. Straight ahead to Conan, the Barbarian. Oh wait, wrong genre here. So we got the legs in there. All right, cool. Let's get rid of this. All right, next up on the hip parade here. Okay, we got the route in there. Let's go to the perf page. Well, that's interesting. Perf and that's where it's at, folks. All right, click the 0 fuel weight. Reserves for today's flight are as follows. Oh. Just going to go with that. We'll make the adjustments here. All right, we'll go with 11.2. How that comes to be, folks, real quick. I know a lot of people, if you're using the default, do a version reload standby. Why didn't I get that over here? Da-de-da-da. All right. A lot of people ask me, how do I come up with that? Well, in what's called LIDO. Now, when you're building a flight plan, most people don't see it, so I'm not going to tell you to change off. But if you're like me and I go to American, United, sometimes some of the others, just to see what the prevailing format may look like, I do it for fun. But here's your top. Y'all are going, oh, I know what this is. Yeah, well, right below it's your fuel. And if you come right down to the bottom of the information, you'll see reason for pilot and command wanting more fuel. I don't want to crash. No, because of fuel starvation. Come down to the FMC info. Final reserves, that's what FinRes means, plus alternate. 11,202 pounds. Drop the back, put a point right here, 11.2. Or you could do trip and taxi. It's your call. I like it that way. Basically, when you drop below this on your FMC, oh wait, did I have that showing? I think I was not. I think I was remiss. I was. Holy mackerel. Here we go. All right. So again, real quick, since that loose nut behind the wheel forgot, down here in the planning of fuel, LIDO version only that I know of, okay? Just straight out default, this is what you get when you hit generate. Come down to your planned fuel, FMC information, final res plus alternate, final reserve plus alternate. 11,202 pounds, like I said. Just put the decimal between the 11 and the 202 and just put in 11.2. When your fuel level reaches 11,202 pounds, you will get a message up here using reserves. Figure out, do I have a step climb ahead? Because folks, on long flights, you might take off with it on. But as soon as you get into the jet stream or the winds, boom, it like jumps because you're getting the push that dispatch was expecting. So take a look, see what you got. Now, if you got a long way to go and it's saying 0, I would start thinking, is dispatcher doing drugs again? So, but again, you can do that from the ground too. Pay attention to your charts, your wind charts, see if they're seeing what you're seeing, talk with them. In the real world, talk with them. Hey, are you guys on drugs? I'm at 0 on this one. I need more fuel. And usually, I would hope, usually, they would say, okay, how much? Usually, I would hope they say that. I'm sure somebody out there is going to, they don't want you putting an extra drop of fuel in that plane. Oh, you committed so many felonies by doing that. All right, at the time this flight plan was made, 272 for the winds, diagonal 37. All right, take off. Oh, back up, back up. There we go. Now we'll go. All right, now this page, it's not easy, folks. And I'm going to build Top Cat real quick right here in front of y'all as soon as it decides to load up. There it goes. All right, now this is how it looks. Again, those of you who are new to the channel, this is a payware piece of equipment. Works really good hand in hand with Professional Flight Planner X. X was for FSX, not X-plane, although a lot of the calculations here come in pretty close. So let's find a 767. We'll go with that one, even though it's not the right plane. Weight and balance. Let's go from KPHL, KRFD. Okay, and we'll bring that up to there. Now, let me get my weight and balance here correct. Dun, 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 dun. 298. Keep climbing. 555. Where are we at? Still got 400 to go. Cool. And we actually need to be at 30. So if I drop 20, $35's good enough for me. All right, fuel. We already know this, but we got to put it in. Now, if you're in Professional Flight Planner, folks, you would actually just be able to export this right in, out the door you go. I do have to bring some toolkit up, some brief up. En route fuel, where are you? 21846. Think it's 2000 for taxi. Oh, 1000. Was close. Just off by a small cigar. Alternate today is KORD. Technically not needed. It really doesn't factor in your alternates, but so we got our 0 fuel weight close. Everything's close. That's all we need it to be. We're going to go to the takeoff. This is a takeoff and landing performance calculation tool. So it's going to actually get us pretty close to what our numbers are here. Okay, first off, I'll click CG over here. Let me just make sure everything's looking good. Okay, so you saw the CG. Don't worry if the two don't match. Really be laughing if you saw probably what this profile works from. Hit update. Okay, 115 gusts to 20 as of 1854. About a half hour old. Light rain, 2 miles visibility. Drizzle, 900. Still well within departure limits. However, going off 9 left. Okay, 9 left's a 9,500 foot runway. It tells you right here. Heading of 087 tells you again right here. No slope. So we don't have to worry about that. Now, if you had in the real world, or if you wanted to simulate, because the NOTAM says so on the airport, if you go so deep into your realism for your flights, you can put that in here, plus MELs. We're not. We're at 112, 1019, which equates to 3008. Okay, just getting my altimeters updated. All right. So once we have that in, we determine, okay, what's our temperature? 12. Go ahead and throw the anti-ice on in the engines. Compute. Now, technically, I could put this on optimum for thrust. I don't know the proper way to set this plane up into the different TO 1 and 2 configurations over here. I just don't. I put a plea out there a long time ago for some help. No one ever came along, so I kind of stopped and never tried to learn. It's not in the documentation, so I don't know how to get it in. And I lost my LDS because I think it had that, how to do it. All right, so looking at this, if we select the best one here, 46 degrees on TO flaps 5, will be 145 V1, 150 rotate, 157 V2, and we will have 2,150 feet of runway if the sim matches this, which even the new sim, even FSX may not match 100%, folks. But let's see, shall we? So we're going to put 46 in. Well, first off, let's go to the next page. Let's put our wind in. 100 diagonal. You're doing it just like you see up here, folks. 15. Okay. Breaks it down. Slope. Now, we do not have a slope. That is right here, folks. Under heading. So if you come down from Philadelphia, right here is your slope.
You love me! You really love me!
Swick, welcome aboard,
In a
sir.
68
And
just
thanks
subscribed
for the
8 months.
resubscribe.
Blue skies,
We sure
Mike.
appreciate
Blue heart.
All right, so let's see what's our reference outside air temperature. 12 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in. What the heck? It's actually 11 over here. So, you know, ballparking, it's close enough. Next page puts us right back where we started. Now we'll put that 46 degrees in. We're departing flaps 5. And here's what the computer on board, inside Flight Factor, on board the real airplane comes up with. 142, 149, 157. Well, 145, 150. Oh, wait. You know what we forgot? The factor of wet runway. numbers change a little. Let's go next page. All right, so the numbers change a little bit. So we're going to put in 136. Okay. They don't have a way for us to put in a wet runway yet. Like Zebo does, the Airbuses do. Here we just have to just put the new speed in. But 150, it's pretty doggone close, and 157. Go ahead and turn that off. That's what we're looking at, folks. That's not bad. Top Cat, folks, again, payware. Look it up. It's a great program with PFPX. And again, in Usuik68, thanks for subscribing now for 8 months. Thank you, sir. Wow. Wow. All right, and that, folks, gets the FMC up and running. All right, let's get this rolling. We're way late getting rolling. All right, let's get up top here. Okay, we're going to leave the yaw dampers off. The reason being, we'll show you when we do our flight control check. EEC's electronic engine controls set to normal. C, hydraulic, which are the electrics, are on. Demands are auto. Electric panel set. Cargo heat coming on, which means I'm going to start buttoning up the airplane. All right, and then on the ops ground side, I'm going to get rid of the LSU, fuel truck, and loader. Going to keep the ACU, got to keep the GPU or we lose power, and the chocks. And here's how you can tell you've got the aircraft loaded. Look at your fuel. I love this. It's right here, right below your fuel controls. So you can tell, what do I need to do to make them right. Okay. Really love this. And I am going to go ahead. Left, right, engine starts are on both. Well, we're going to go 2 and 2. How I determined that, folks, today's an even day, so let's put them on an even number. Pretty simple stuff. Passenger signs are on. Cabin altitude controls are set. Equipment cooling is auto. Lighting is set. Trim air is on. Recirculating fans are on. Our cabin controls are set to auto, which is straight up 12 o'clock. Same with our cabin temperature. I'm going to fire up the EPU. All right, APU is coming alive. While it's doing that, I am to start my ACARS program for Mac Air. And it is logging in as we speak. Flight started. All right, we are ready to go. APU should be on. I'm going to switch into the APU. Turn the ground power off. Bring bleed on board. You can see the duct filling with air. Packs are set to auto, so we are now internal 100%. So, as we look outside the aircraft, it's raining even harder. Thought it said light rain. Let's go ahead and just make it ready for flight. All right, she is ready for flight, folks. All right, let's do it. Now, for the frame rates, I just want to check. We're at 20 right now. I'm scared if I bring this thing on with VATSIM, well, I don't think it'll even come on right now. Especially with 6 aircraft already here, that in the area. So we're gonna do something I know a lot of people don't like to hear. We're gonna taxi, we're gonna get airborne, and then we'll come online. And it's not, well, actually there is no tower controller now. It's free, it's a free for all. It's just, I don't think we're gonna, I noticed it when we were gonna look one time. Okay, we'll give it a shot. What the heck? Hang on a second, folks. All right, we're going to try pre-filing. Current time, 18:35. Okay. Okay, I've got a flight plan. Here we go. Let's see what it does. Okay, our auto ATIS is 11:45. All right, and with the new rules into effect here. Yeah, that's right, folks. There are new rules with VATSIM. Common traffic advisory frequency. Now, how the heck do we find that? You see if they make it easy. Nope, they're not. All right. Well, we'll just basically, oh, Chicago Center came up. Okay, they're always never fun to deal with. Let's see here. Weather is going to be one of the fixes coming in. Maybe this April. That long, huh? All right, one thing I do notice here, folks, we do need to get our microphones turned on. Let me show you how that looked. turned up. Okay. Anyway, when you see the top row here looking like this, make sure your microphone's on, make sure your speaker's on. When the speaker's off, you see how RX did no longer bold? Well, TX would too if we went over here. Well, it's not going to play like that. Okay. All right, well, anyway, and then you can't ever get them to turn off. That's fine. But you definitely want them. Oh, you don't even see this, so I'm sorry. Your COM1, make sure the TX and the RX is bold. All right, and for today's frequency out of here, I'm hoping I get the right one. That ain't telling it. Try one more possibility. If you go to Sky Vector, zero in on your airport, on your sectional. This is an airport where it's always on with a tower. CT or C, something along that next to your airport, will be your common traffic advisory frequency, CTAF. Here it's 118.5. Let me show you that. I wonder if I can do it here. Not able to pull it up there. Okay, well, I can definitely do it with Sim Toolkit. All right, so let me pull Sim Toolkit up. Okay. Now, on Sim Toolkit, let's go to Sky Vector. I'm just going to put us there. I'm not putting the route in. Type in Philadelphia and zoom it in. Can't find it again, just hit go and it'll recenter it. Okay. Now, Philadelphia, here we are. Philadelphia International Airport, PHL. That's the IATA code for it. Here's what we're talking about right here. See the CT dash? That's your common traffic frequency that VATSIM's testing out till May. So if you go Sky Vector, only VAT USA, by the way, is doing this test. None of the other regions. So if you're in the USA, try it out. They're trying to get a little more. I don't know what they're really trying. I'm not even going to try to fill in the gap there, folks. So, but anyway, that's how you would find it. Now, if you're at another type of airport, say this one, well, here it is right here, the C that I was telling you, 123.075. That's your common traffic. Same with this. See how that C sits in here? So here we're going to go to 118.5. I'm gonna recheck my data. 18. And to be honest, folks, a lot of times it's going to be a tower frequency at an airport like Philly. The problem when you're at a place like Philly, let me show you. One last time for Sim Toolkit, and then I promise we're going to get started. Okay, so we get rid of Sky Vector. Let's bring in NavGraph. Let's go ahead and import our flight in here. Here's the problem when you deal with a place like Philly, these big major airports, okay? Not trying to pick anything with them. Hang on, I'm just gonna put this in here. All right. Now, another thing is, just so you can see, you zoom down, hey, they tell me to taxi via, I don't know what that one is, uniform, to Papa to Whiskey. Well, if you don't have a ground chart, just zoom in real quick on Philly or whatever airport. See, you can see from your stand where you are. So we'll come out, taxi, or down to here, out, over, up, or whatever they tell us to do. They may tell us to go jump in the river right here. But anyway, it's Philadelphia, for crying out loud. Who knows what they'll do? Sorry, Philadelphia gets a lot of pokes from me. But anyway, so let's bring it up. Well, which tower frequency would it, we already know it's this one. What about that one? See what I'm saying? So some airports do have, by runways, by where you're at, north, south, east, west, multiple tower frequencies. So that's how you go. Check your sectional. It'll tell you which one's CT. By the way, that one came up too. So, all right. Anyway, so you can see where we are. Good chance I'm going to come out, taxi down to Tango, cross over to Papa, to Whiskey, to let's get out of Philadelphia. And again, our departure's straight out. So, all right, we got our squawk code in. We're ready to go. Radar's off. Let's final checks. APU started. We're make sure we're on the gen. And we are. We're on the bleeds. And external power's off. And we've got all of our isolation valves open. Also, folks, see how I can open guards? I highly recommend you close them just so it's a double click to do something. Because let's just say you accidentally click here. You could turn the battery off if you didn't have that guard down. It would be 2 clicks to get it to turn off. Also, another safety thing, make sure your ons are here. Do not go in here and gen drive disconnect. You're disconnecting the generator from the engine. Want it to auto connect, which is what these switches will do. Otherwise, you got to shut down, perform maintenance, restart. Yes, this guy's done it a couple of times because I didn't realize. Y'all ready for engine start? I know I sure am. Been on the ground here way too long. Okay, everything's set. We'll show you why these are off. Okay, so all doors are closed. That's this panel here. Ground equipment's all removed. Packs, we're going to go ahead and turn them off. Like most Boeings, like a lot of aircraft, folks, you got to turn the packs off so you get the air pressure. We're not going to call the tow car, and we do have acres running. I'm just doing a quick check. The heck? All right, there we go. All right. All right, so let's do it, shall we? Beacons on. And we'll give it about 5 seconds here. All right, beacons on. Fuel pumps on. And let's crank them, shall we? I know, y'all be going, about time. All right, first thing though, I do want to click engine status here. Basically, we're going to start 2. We're going to watch N2 build up to the magenta line. At the magenta line, we'll introduce the fuel. Where is the fuel introduced? You ask? Right here. They're in the cutoff position. Spoilers down, flaps up, and good test of the configuration. Radars off, frequencies are set, and we're ready to go fly with Mike. All right. To the top. Your engines are here. Go to auto, then ground. Come down. Like I said, watch your N2. It's building kind of rapidly, but it's better. Blow it up and put the fuel on. And there she goes, winding up. Kind of helps me out. That's why I've done that. Okay, and then I'm going to get this one positioned. Good enough. Progress and out of here. Okay, engines are settled. Let's go up here. Startup number 1. And again, we're just watching N2 fuel building up. See how they're spooling? Just making sure. And that flickering is the generators coming online. Okay. Now, a lot faster than the real plane. That I've been pretty well sure of, verified by a couple of real-world pilots. Pretty fast startup. Okay. Now, remember the Gen Connects were fault? Well, now they're actually online. Everything looks good. I think. Okay, so let's find out. Tow valve, we don't have a tow vehicle. Hydraulic pumps, engines on. Anti-ice, yes. We'll turn it on here. Yes. Bleeds on. All right, left and right pack to auto. So we're getting the air off the engine. APU bleed off. APU off. Generator off. Okay, what's going on here? I've had this before.
Philly Pacific UPS 163 Heavy, 7,100 feet descending, about 30 miles northwest of the field for red base, runway 9 right, Philly traffic.
Had this before and I can't remember. Oh. There we go. Yep, I knew it was one of these that I had to recycle. That's why I kept looking down to make sure I'm not killing everything. Fuel config. Uh-oh. What's up with that? Oh, I know what's up with that. Okay, we'll just configure our tanks real quick and then we'll get rolling. Part of it's the APU running, but the other part isn't. All right, it's close enough. All right. All right, we're ready to go, folks. Parking brake altitudes do disagree because I thought they were set together for the 08. Let me check config here. Can't remember if this one. Save maps. Options. Okay, I guess.
Show traffic, UPS 163 Heavy's on the right base, runway 9 right, Philly.
Well, bummer. Okay, well, we'll have to set it then. Okay. Now, oh, I remember why. Now, okay, this is one of those. Hang on a second. Let me get the right number in here. 3008 is right. I don't know why it says negative. Let's click the quick key here. That'll set. That's why it's not. Okay. All right, we're ready to taxi, folks. Flaps 5. And RTO. All right, taxi checks, auto brakes, taxi lights, altimeters are now set. We'll show you one other click spot on here. We're looking for 160. We'll use 157. Flight directors on. And heading, I think we said 087. And Philadelphia 3 has a 5,000 top limit, but without ATC, we'll take her all the way up to the comfortable levels of flight level 320. Flight directors are on, and stave trim is supposed to be 5, and we are showing 4. All right. EFIS control 200. Map data. Okay. Weather radar to weather, but we're not going to tune anything in yet. And then we do our flight control check. This is what I wanted to tell you about, why the yaw dampers aren't on. Go to status. Let's take a look at what the screen shows here. Here's your control surfaces. Pay attention to this one. It deflected. That's why I don't use the yaw dampers on the ground. Now it's testable. Okay. And finally, we're good and ready to taxi. Philadelphia traffic, UPS 1018 heavy, taxiing from UPS to 9 left. Brakes off.
Philly traffic, jet setter 650, hold it short, 9 left, and about to depart. Just a heads up, I think the ground guy is up. Philly traffic, EPS 163 heavy, 10 mile final, runway 9 right, Philly traffic. Philly traffic, jet setter 650 departing 9 left, straight out, Philly traffic.
He is indeed up. Let's see what he's going to make us do. Philadelphia ground, UPS 1018 on the UPS ramp, ready to taxi.
Aircraft vehicle is still on the CTAF frequency.
Oh, thanks. Sorry about that. Philadelphia ground, UPS 1018 on the UPS ramp, ready to taxi.
UPS 1018, Philadelphia ground, it's like your clearance first. Where are you headed to?
Okay, let's try it again. Philadelphia ground, UPS 1018, request clearance to Rockford, please.
UPS 1018, clearance and request, stand by 1.
Holy jeez, kebabs. Now here we go. We already got all this, but yet we gotta do it again. Crack me up. All right, now the delay is ATC, so. And here we sit.
UPS 1018, clear to Rockford International Airport via the Philadelphia 2 departure, rate of directions to Medina, Dennis Fall, maintain 5,000, expect flight level 3201 to midday to departure, departure frequency 122.8, squawk 3356.
Okay, we got to change a lot. Hang on, that didn't work right. Whoa. And ground UPS 1018's cleared. Philadelphia 2 departure, 5,000 initially. 10 minutes later, we'll head to flight level 320, 122.8 for departure, 3356.
UPS 1018, reading is correct. Push to start at your discretion. Advisory ready taxi. Expect runway 9 left for departure.
And UPS 1018 heavy copies. We're ready to taxi here at UPS for 9 left.
UPS 1018, runway 9 left. Taxi via Yankee Kilo Whiskey. Cross runway 9 to right.
Yankee Kilo Whiskey, cross 9 right for UPS 1018. Hopefully he didn't make me turn around.
And Ground American 963, holding short 9 left at Whiskey, ready to go. 963, contact departure 122.8, have a safe flight. Internal aircraft information, hotels, current altimeter 3004.
Ground UPS 1019, was that Yankee Quebec Whiskey for us for taxi?
UPS 1018 negative, it's Yankee Kilo Whiskey.
Kilo. Copy, Yankee Kilo Whiskey. Somehow I got Q in there, I don't know where.
UPS 1018, just be advised, UPS 163 just made a right onto taxiway Yankee off of runway 9 array. One just hold position until he crosses.
UPS 1018 holding position.
So ground UPS 163 heavy, it's clearing 9 right, going straight in UPS right. Copy UPS 163, just be advised you have another UPS to your left.
Something tells me
Yeah, we see him.
I think you're supposed to go down to uniform and enter this, just by the way the ramp is set up, but I don't know. I've never actually seen this ramp in real life. I'm just going by the way it's marked off.
UPS 1018 once the UPS 163 is out of your way, you can continue taxi.
UPS 1018 heavy copies. Well, since we're in a holding pattern, let's see how the wipers work. I mean, when you're this late, folks, what's another couple minutes, right? And ground is UPS 1018 still clear across 9 right?
UPS 1018, yes, you're clear across runway 9 right.
UPS 1018 heavy copies crossing 9 right here on Yankee. All right, folks, we're finally getting this horse out of the stall. That's actually not a bad wiper speed. Anyway, we'd have been hit already, but you know what? Left looks clear, even though it's cloudy as all you know what. I'm so shocked he brought us up to Kilo. It's kind of weird. But again, I don't know how the real world operates here in Philadelphia. I don't think anybody does. They booed Santa Claus for crying out loud, folks. Actually, I think they hit him with a snowball. All right, we're crossing the approach path for...
Philadelphia Grand Frontier 5521, opening at IFR to Denver. We have hotel. Philadelphia Ground, what is your clear, say again? It's your flight 521.
I think this is Kilo.
Dear 521, you ready, copy? Hey, friend.
Just making sure.
Frontier 521 cleared to Denver International Airport via Philadelphia to departure. Ready records to Pottstown, then as filed. Maintain 5,000, expect flight level tree 010 after departure. Departure frequency 122.8, squawk 3330. We are cleared to the Denver International Airport via the Philadelphia 2, departure Pottstown, VOR, altitude 5,000, and then expect flight level 380, 10 minutes after departure, departure frequency 122.8, and squawk 3330. J521 readback is correct, push and start at your discretion, advise and rate of taxi, expect running 9 left for departure.
Okay. Speed brakes, lights, AT on. Ground UPS 1018's ready to go, 9 left.
Yes, 1018, contact departure 122.8, have a safe flight.
Over to departure, 122.8, UPS 1018. Have a great day.
Go on.
22. Expecting to go to common traffic. All right. You can see how the frame rates are really getting ate to death on here, folks, with the stuttering. It's because of the weather, a little bit of the scenery, but mostly the weather. Oh yeah, and VATSIM traffic. Not to dog VATSIM, but it's the traffic here on top of all of the heavy weather clouds. It's really trying to produce a lot of stuff here, and just having a hard time. All right, so here we go, folks. LNAV, VNAV, armed. All right, Philadelphia traffic, UPS 1018 departing 9 left. TARA on our transponder. Here we go, folks. Bring them up. What I do is bring it up so it's, see how that's even with this half circle? Makes it real quick for the eyes, breaks off. The other quick switch is right here, toga. we go. See, there it goes, starting to show the lag. That's why sometimes you don't see me on VATSIM, folks. And we just got disconnected. Positive rate gear up. Gonna go with autopilot. We'll get back on VATSIM here in a second. We're aviating before we play. Actually, I can probably get away with it now. Really shocked it let me taxi. We'll hold off. We're at 20. The weather is not helping this. Okay. Off to the distance here, folks, you can see Mach MXE. So I'm just going to keep us turning now back to it. Kind of go under it. Legs, execute, LNAV, and then she'll line up on it. Okay, I'm going to come back on. Yeah, it's just between heavy traffic. Well, actually, it wasn't really all that heavy there. And weather being the biggest draw here. These clouds really do give it some strain. Hang on, I'm watching my turn. Make sure we do end up going direct. There it goes. Anyway, that's what's putting the strain. Now, this computer is somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 years old. Maybe coming up on 4, middle of this year. And it is, you know, it was set up for X-Plane 11. And it did a phenomenal job there. It still does. But yeah, you throw scenery, you throw weather, you get what you get. And not complaining. I think they built me a really good computer. It's getting, you know, to where it either needs the a good clean out, emptying of all the hard drives and of junk files, and or just a new computer. The latter, I'm not saying anything about. But it is 4 years, coming up on 4 years old. So, all right, we're airborne, folks. Finally, after about an hour and a half on the ground in an unscheduled delay by ATC, we're above 10,000 feet. Let's get these lights off. Fortunately, I do not know where the tops are. And we're on our way, folks. We're headed direct MXE. We're popping out. Let's take a look. And we are on our way, folks. Again, sorry for such a lengthy ground time. A lot always to talk about with this plane. And, who's in front of me? Okay, no longer a factor. Ooh, I remember. Oh, it didn't say anything about this plane. Well, we're gonna try it. We got the weather. Let's turn that on. And we'll get terrain on over here. Okay, see how this all looks here on the radar. Okay, now this returns here is ground. This, it may be a test pattern. There we go. And let's see what kind of information we get. Okay, we should have a disagree over here. Okay, so that's saying we're at 2992, but the first officer still showing 3008. So how do we clear that? This little set screw here, where you see the arrow, folks, click on it, altitude disagree goes away. We're at 2992. Now the only one you do have to set is this one. All right, we're all set. I didn't turn that on. Well, if I had to wait till 10 minutes after departure, I was screwed. All right, folks. After takeoff checks, flaps are indeed. Hang on a second. Let's get into the center here. Are indeed up. Autopilot's on, exterior lights are off, flaps are up, and we are climbing through transition, so we are good to go. Yeah, it looks like our radar still has some issues here. It's showing some stuff, but it's not the greatest. Let's see if I can't change any of that. All right, folks, we're on our way, and according to Sim Toolkit, an hour and a half away, we'll be descending into the Rockford area. All right, let's take a look here. No, it looks like we're going to at least change frequencies twice. me take a look at my Rockford charts. Does it say who has approach? Ah, Rockford. Okay, so we will not be dealing with... Okay, so we should not be dealing with a Chicago approach. Put that in big air quotes, folks. Alright, now you see me adjusting my heading here. That's what I talked about at the beginning. Hawker! Do I need to read chat? Yes, I always need to read chat. And I'm horrible at that. You should know that. Actually, I notice I don't have a few applications fired up on my computer. Get them firing up right now. Why did I forget those? Rockford. Why are we hyping Rockford? Hang on, we're going back through chat here, folks. I am really glad you specified there, sir, about the Girl Scout spicy cookies. You left it kind of open there in the air. But welcome in, Hawker. I do apologize. Rockford hype. Do you read chat? I try to, but when I get hung in the midst of VATSIM, I do a horrible job then. Alright, FMC message. I wonder if it's saying I'm low on fuel. .2, we're fine. We just leveled off. Winds are headwind of 30 knots or so, Don't have to talk to those in Chicago. We're gonna kind of try not to be too mean to them, but yeah, they're a little sore subject sometimes with me, folks. Anyway, we're on our way, level 32,000. Let's make sure everything up top here is set to go. We'll be nice to the cargo back there, let them up and about. The odometer's on. And let's turn the wing lights off so they can sleep. Okay, those are off indeed. And I may be taking a quick break here. I think the missus may need to talk with me. So I will be right back. All right, folks, we're back with you. And nothing changed. No. All righty. Just do some quick updates here. And let's update here. I just realized why things weren't set up like I normally do. It's because I had to do a restart before the stream. So that's why. Got out of my normal routine, folks. All right, there we go. All right, everything's where it should normally be. MMFR flight service. Where in the world is that? Ah, Mexico. Wow, I've never seen that one up. Interesting. Also, I know a lot of people out here will say got their ticket to fly in the 24 hours of VATSIM. I didn't even know really much about it or read much about it, so I hope you're enjoying. It looked like between specific destinations, kind of like across the pond, except across the whole world. What's a good question there, Hawker? Hang on, I just... So, we are blasting off. I am going to go ahead to help things out here. Where are you? I had you open. There you are. What's this one? Hang on. I'm going to hop in the lobby here of my Discord channel. Feel free if you want to chat away. Just realize I really do like to keep it pretty strict. Watch your language. You don't know the kind of audience we have. There's many folks out there with their kids in earshot. They don't need to hear that barroom talk or Navy scuttle-button talk. So, or in some people's cases, the way they talk in a firehouse. So, but I have turned it on. It's weird because yesterday I actually heard it ka-dunk. Today, I did not. Wonder why that was. Huh. Everything shows wide open, so I don't know why. All right, so just doing a few checks saying we can step climb. Not in these winds. We'll stay at 32. So we are on our way, folks, to Rockford, Illinois. Now, Rockford is a regional type hub for UPS. I don't think there's any others there, but it gets them out of O'Hare. Anytime you can get out of O'Hare, get out of quote quote Chicago, that's a good thing, folks. It's amazing if you look at history and the way things were, how Chicago became Chicago, where St. Louis was at one time, and I'm not talking via aviation, railroads. Railroad hub used to be in St. Louis till this little thing called the Civil War. Then it moved north to get away from the war, never came back, and Chicago just... Anyway, but yeah, you want to get away, like Hawker says, from the O'Hare Midway nightmare. And that's what they did. They went out to Powwaukee. Now, FedEx is still at O'Hare, right by the end of a runway. But the problem is, with them usually blasting off to the west, long taxi for takeoff. Short taxi in to drop cargo off. And no, we are not with a UPS virtual airline. This is, again, Millennium Aviation. One of those four, many things you can join with them. You come in the open division, which think any airline schedule, they have a plethora of aircraft in their schedules for you to choose from, routes, liveries, the whole 9 yards. They're not downloads, they're just for flights you can choose. Then you can join the charter division. Make up your own route if you don't see the one you want. Cargo, if you want to fly cargo, like, hey, this guy is. Maybe a little more. There we go. So, and yes, UPS did keep the winglets on. Unlike FedEx, who got rid of theirs. Not sure why. Sure, there's a good reason. But anyway. But as you're with Millennium, you can join these different divisions, fly the different aircraft available in those divisions. They don't have them for download, but you can find them. Say you have a TU-154. There is one out there in X-Plane for you folks. They have schedules for it. So you really have a very open thought process there. Very great management team. Good software with... hang on a second. I always forget the name of the smart cars, and great Discord channel. Still want a Hawker for, well, I want to say there might be a Hawker 50 out there or something like that for you. May have to go back to 11, but yeah, I get you. And if you're not familiar with the Hawk here, there's a little bit about him. Check his streams out, folks. When he comes on, he'll keep you up to date how he is going with his project of converting a real Hawker 125 fuselage into a working flight sim, minus without full motion. Sometimes dubbed as his doghouse when he needs to go to the doghouse. But anyway, check him out, folks. He'd sure appreciate it. High above somewhere there, folks. And I can see, hang on a second, I think it's this way. Yeah, that'll center it better. This new test that VATSIM has started as of yesterday, the 1st of this month, in VAT USA territory, which basically is the contiguous 48. I think they reach up to Alaska and Hawaii, not 100% sure, but under VAT USA territories, they're doing what's called common traffic advisories for the frequencies at airports, much like you would in the real world when the towers aren't available, or at other airports. What it like? Let's say you go to Greene County Airport in Ohio. Flew into there many times back in the 80s. What is the common traffic frequency there? Everybody's got to be on something, and it's not drugs. But they got to be on a frequency talking so everybody knows what's going on in the traffic area. So what we'll do here is show you how to find it. Now, VATSIM does have a way to do it. I don't know the link to it offhand. Otherwise, I'd have it for you. I don't know. That might be an FAA thing. I don't know the drugs. But anyway, let me pull up Sim Toolkit. It's the easiest way to show this. Okay, now I still have it set up where it's on NavGraph. Now up here, you really can't tell which tower frequency would be that. Okay. All right, let me close this and center it so we have it there. And then I'm going to get rid of it. All right, so we're just going to use, let's go out here to the Harrisburg area just to get away from Philadelphia. So let's say I'm going to go to Donegal Springs Air Park here, November 71. Well, if you look at your sectional, that's what we are. This is SkyVector, by the way, folks. It's free. You can go to it, skyvector.com, on any browser, and you can pull this up. Now you're on World VFR, which basically, if you want to kind of dumb it down, they took every sectional chart out there, kind of pasted them on the ends together, and you get a seamless transition. You can sometimes find where the seam was, but from coast to coast, wherever you are. Okay, so when you're looking at this, again, Donegal Springs Air Park, the common traffic frequency, the frequency you should be broadcasting on your intentions, real world, now, VATSIM till at least May, is 122.8. Okay, well, that's the normal VATSIM Unicom anyway. But look for this C. Because down here at Lazy B Bravo Ranch, 0 Papa 8, it's 122.9. So if I took off from here, flew to here, I'd take off on 122.8, land or announce my intentions on 122.9. Okay. Now, let's go to Lancaster. Okay. Now we know it's a tower because it's a blue airport. Okay. Now, when the tower's closed, and let's say you're a VFR pilot, how do you know what frequency you should talk on? Guess what? CT 120.9. Harrisburg or Capital, pick your one. Harrisburg, just look for the CT, and it's this one, 124.8. Capital City, look for the C, and 122. Wait a minute, this one's being kind of. Here you can see there's where one of those seams kind of got all messed up. But yeah, that's the Unicom there. That might be it, 122.90. But I'm going to lay odds the frequency. Let's try a different one just because it's kind of so weird. Let's say we're going up here to Muir Army Airfield, 126.2. So you get the picture. Now, remember our thing with Philly? We had multiple towers, frequencies. So if you come to this sectional, you're going to find the common traffic is either 118.5 or 135.1. Control tower or common traffic, one of the two. So wherever the C or CT lines up, folks, that's what you transmit on. Okay. And again, this sky vector is really good. Let's hit that again. What pilot rooms? But anyway, so there you have it, folks. And as you can, wait, I don't have weather turned on. Now you can see just how lovely the East Coast is. The rain, the heaviest of it, is pulling away. And for those down in the Sunshine State, for now, a little bit of sunshine, except around well, it looks like even Disney's sunny, well, respectively rain-free, but north of it, it's getting rainy. So, but that'll change. The afternoon variety usually come in. But you can see that is the pretty much the whole country. Now, you know, for those of us who are flying small airplanes, well, you're not going to really go coast to coast. But let's say you stay within Detroit. There's the Detroit section. Again, a really good chart. Here's instrument flight, low and high. So anyway, really good stuff here in Sky Vector. So, all right, so back here we are 35 minutes into the trip, 58 minutes away from the Chicago area. So I'm just going to kind of shut my mouth, let you all relax, enjoy the sounds of the CF engines of UPS. All right, folks, and again, I just brought the invite up. If you'd like to come on air chat, we'd love to meet you. If you're new to the channel, love for you to hit the follow button, follow along. We haven't put our schedule together yet. I'm really struggling what I want to do next week. A lot going on, and trying to figure out where and what type of streams to fit in. So, but anyway, love to chat with you. Love to see who all is out there with us and get to know some people out here. Again, the Discord channel is available in the chat. All right, well, we are now just about 55 minutes out of O'Hare, or not O'Hare, my bad, Rockford. So why don't we take a look at our arrival information? Wow, look at that, Aaron. Is that a cloud? We actually have traffic ahead of us. Because if I wait too long after passing the VOR air, we're going to be in Chicago airspace. No, I can't tell. All right. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. It's a balloon from China. Sorry, couldn't resist. All right, folks, let me bring charts in. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Well, wait a minute. Let me bring that back. 2350. Now, I am going to be curious with this new stuff VATSIM's trying out, as obviously ground didn't switch us to CTAF. How the controllers are going to play this out. Because heck, he didn't even give me the code that Auto ATC gave us. So just curious, that's just little old me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this now, for now. We're not far away, that's for sure. And let's look at this arrival. As soon as I find it. There it is. Okay, so we just crossed air. 17.1. And we're en route towards Fort Wayne and Capone. All right, so we're going to, at Capone, enter the quote 1 RNAV arrival, all runways. If it wasn't, it would tell you. Okay, so basically we got to get the quote before we can follow the directions. Okay, so we're going to come into Capone, CPONE, Zabnu. Now Zabnu, we need to be above 28 or 24, but below 26,000. By the time we get over here 45 miles later, we got to be at quote 13,000 feet, between 13 and 15,000 feet. And our speed, no matter what it is, has to be at 250. Once we come off quote 15 miles later, we need to be at 8,000 feet. For YOLO, yeah, we had fun with that earlier. My apologies if I offended anyone in my comments, but it was kind of fun. Just not a big fan of this area. All right, from YOLO, we'll take a 010 direct. Well, we'll fly it until we can go direct to our RNAV approach, which will start at Papow. Papow. And it's a RNAV GPS approach, so I'm not expecting any crosshairs here to click into. So we're going to head to here, make the turn to Wagnet, and then on to the final approach. All right, across the top, our ATIS. We, as you can tell, cannot use D ATIS because there's no D here. So if we can, we'll hopefully pick it up. Otherwise, we'll do the best we can. Rockford, see how it says Rockford, not Chicago. Approach has us 121.0, should they come up. Tower, which would probably be our CTAF channel, and ground. That's what I'm going to be curious. Are they going to hand us to it or not? All right, now the meat and potatoes of the approach. What are the frequencies? What are the headings? Okay, the briefing strip here is, this is where your localizer information would normally go. Well, it is a RNAV approach. So this channel, this, not sure what it is, all gets done in the plane without you touching it. You can't set that. Your final approach course right here at Wagnet is 188. Okay, so we're going to come into Wagnet. We're going to head right on in on the approach. I'm going to double check, make sure we don't have it. We'll do that right now. Okay, so let's go to the legs page. Where's my mouse? There it is. Uh-oh, there it goes. All right, so there's Capone, Zabnu, quote YOLO, Papa, Wagnet. All right, now after Wagnet, it is not expected to go into the hold. Okay, just so you guys know. Coming in at such an angle, we should be able to go straight on to the approach. So when you're coming in like this, you may have to do the procedure turn or the actual hold. All right, so go back to progress. Okay, so at Cagra, 2,500 feet MSL, that's what bold is. In the parentheses, that's above ground. So 1,764 feet above the ground. So why are we delineating that? Let's check a little further down. That is where we should be heading down our 3-degree glide path. okay, which, by the way, is 5.4 miles out. To make our, run, our LPV, which I don't remember what it stands for. Bear with me a second. Localizer performance with vertical guidance. It's as Wiki here is saying, a subset of area navigation minima that are available. Approaches to LP minima, blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, coming in will be minimum or descent decision altitude 936 feet MSL. That is your altimeter, so that's what this will read, folks. Radar altimeter. I'll be honest, I forget. I think it shows up right here. But anyway, that is your altitude above the ground. MSL is above sea level. And above the ground is just that, above the ground. We're set for 200. Airport elevation and touchdown. Here's your missed approach out to Conan. We'll hold. And then it's an RNP approach, GPS. Transition like everything in the United States, most of North America, if not all, 18,000 feet. All right, again, Papau, Waget, no lower than 2,500 feet. And we don't have the same here, but we'll look at it in a second. Cagra, 2,500 feet, then Junip, and then the runway. All right, Waget at or above 2,500 feet, 2,500 feet at Cagra, roughly 1,280 feet at Junip, and then at our missed approach about a mile out is where we make the call. 200 feet. And these are the numbers that theoretically, if you do these descent vertical speeds, you'll achieve a 3-degree glide slope. We've seen where it may or may not really work out. I'm not really good with math, folks, so I'm not gonna get in there. All right, now down here, this is telling you what to expect. You have runway end identifier lights, rails, and we've seen this wrong. Pappies on the left. The big one we've seen it at is Mid-America, where they're supposed to be on the right, but they populated them on the left. And the chart even says the right. But that's okay. To the rest of the world, they'll never know, just those of us that work there like myself. All right, the LPV approach. Again, localizer performance with vertical guidance. We'll see. Approach, minimums. The airport has to be, now your METARs, when you see them, those ceilings and cloud heights are above the ground level. I think that's pretty easy to figure out why. Because if you're saying they're 2,500 feet at, say, Denver, that means they're 2,500 feet below you if it's MSL. Not helpful. So again, folks, it's above ground level. So as long as that METAR reads 002, in this case. Broken or overcast, you're cleared to come in. So long as the visibility is 3/4 of a mile or more. Either one of these don't match up, you're going to have to either do a different approach that allows for it or head to O'Hare, or alternate in this case. Okay, now if we are straight in 19 LNAV VNAV, guess what? We have different criteria. LNAV, we have different criteria. Circle to land, different criteria, because you got to be able to see the runway. That all makes sense. But again, you see, depending, we are shooting this one, I hope. All right, I really do. I'm going to go ahead and clear off that message. I'm okay with 10.8, even though technically we're starting to eat up some fuel. All right, so there you have your chart, folks. Now, current weather at Rockford, 180 at 11 with gusts to 19, 10 miles, so we're above 3/4 visibility. A broken layer of a broken sky. I'll let you guys work with the one-liners that could come out of that. 25,000 feet. It's a little higher than 200, I'd say, so we're good there. Everything else is good. Now, if you were ever curious when you hit remark and all of these fun little codes and all charts here, which is payware, you add it on to, if you keep your FMCs up to date, if you add on the little bit more for it a month, you get this great tool. And it's going to tell you, well, it's an automated station with a precipitation discriminator, sea level pressure, that hourly temperature, that dew point, that decrease, then steady, or decrease, then decrease more slowly. You get it's gobbledygook. But to those that know how to read it, it helps them out. Thankfully, we have this to tell us. And right now, our altimeter is 2999. All right, now we will not have to tell O'Hare we have your information, because we're not going to O'Hare unless we were diverting. And we will make Rockford. All right, folks, there you have it. Now, the last piece of this arrival puzzle, okay, you can see right here is O'Hare. Up here north of Tor. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of charts. We're going to bring TopCat back in. Remember, TopCat also is payware. It really comes in handy, folks, here to give you an idea what to expect for your landing. TopCat is an acronym for Takeoff and Landing Performance Calculation Tool. If you look up Professional Flight Planner X, you will find TopCat. It can be bundled with the two, and the two really work good together. Really does. And it's not just for FSX. Yeah, the X was not X-plane. It was FSX. Now, they are really good at the numbers, folks. They're pretty close, pretty accurate. Just about every time I fire a Zebo and fly it with the Professional Flight Planner and all of that, those numbers normally match. Now, whether we take off in the amount of distance they say, that's another story. But the numbers come in right for V1, V2, rotate. So, looking at this, we are on the landing page. I'm sorry, we're still on takeoff. So we're looking at Rockford. We know we're coming in 19er. Let's do an update so we get the correct weather in here. 180 at 11. I think that has updated since. Bear with me. Did that update occur? 17 minutes. Oh no, we're 180 at 11. Okay, never mind. Disregard that man behind the wheel. FS10. 10. 10. We'll pass on the one-liners. We got enough for everything else. We're just going to leave that one alone. Anyway, so we got 180 at 11, 17 degrees there Celsius, and there's our altimeter. Okay, runway is dry. So we'll actually we'll probably turn the engines off. Now I'm putting it in auto land just to get as much data out of it as possible. And I'm going to plan an auto 3 to double check how long our runway is. 8,200. Keep it, we'll see how 3 does. And let's just look. Everything looks good. Compute. All right. According to the program here, auto brake 3 will come in with a VREF of 130 or 143. Consider that your landing speed, folks. And our approach 148 to 150. Call it 148, but don't be surprised the plane's hanging around 150. Landing distance required is 7,700 feet, 8,200 feet available. Means 400, 500 feet. So, we'll see. Actual distance is 7,703 feet, which is what we require. So we're down to about 500 feet. Yippee. Now we could, as you saw, go to auto 4. I'm going to leave it there and see how we do. By the way, 767s do come in here all the time. This is actually a real world one. It's like 12 something. I don't remember the flight number. But yeah, they get 57s and 67s all the time in here. So it's not like it's unheard of. All right, so there you have it, folks, the arrival brief. Again, okay, everything's looking good. And hopefully we won't run into problems with with ATC. We losing VATSIM and all. All right, just getting some things set up here on the side. And if you haven't done this already, folks, I saw Hawk already did it. If you use the exclamation mark, the word predict, put a space in there, then a negative number, you can put a prediction in as well. Oh, Chicago has come down. They must have been afraid of flying with. Yeah, right. All right, let's see how far out from top of descent we are showing. and I am going to take a quick restroom and coffee refill break, and I will be right back, and we'll set the plane up for descent. All right, folks, we're back with you just about 20 miles from Fort Wayne. Top of descent, 142. All right, so we'll see what we can do here. Gonna tell you, this has been a pretty decent year for winter in the St. Louis area. Can't really speak up north. I try never to speak about up north in that area we're headed by. But for the St. Louis area, January got a little rough, but in retrospect, not as rough as it could have been. And that is a huge blessing. I am so thankful for that. Just when you work at an airport, anytime you have a year like this, it's been great. February has just been unbelievable here. And March is starting to look pretty much like February did. So, but we're only 2 days in. We'll see. To be able to say we were in the 70s in February as much as we were is flat out amazing, because February can be the really the icebox. Temperatures here just cold, but it didn't, and praise God for that. So, and looking at Rockford, it's 17 degrees Celsius. Just to give you an idea what that is. I know you guys out in Europe know this already. 63 degrees. Folks, when I drove the truck, oh my gosh. Now, granted, March we did see 60s up here, But when the Chicago area, and that it goes from Chicago all the way over to Rockford and down towards Peoria, Bloomington, and Champaign and north. Oh my God, the fog you would get into, and it would never relent for at least a week or two. Um, to see it looking like this with no fog in there or anything is just amazing. So, uh, really has been a good, a better than expected winter. I got a feeling the St. Louis area is going into a drought, so we'll have to deal with that come summertime. There's Fort Wayne. CPONE is next. All right, so how much more to go? About 113. All right, we'll start setting up the MCP and stuff here in a few. Looking ahead right now. And real quick, one more break. I'll be right back. All right, we're back with you. The mail came and had to sort through it a little bit. All right, I am going to get charts up here. I haven't had anyone tell me they don't like it up here. I try to make it as unobstructive as possible, but you never know. Actually, I'll just do that. Hang on a second, I'm trying to get it. Cave. There we go. All right. All right, there we go. And if it is in the way, folks, and you want it either bigger or smaller, hey, the chat room's the best way. Or, like I told you earlier, we are on Discord. You're more than welcome to join us over here. Again, just be mindful of your language. Like I said, you never know who's sitting next to those out here who are tuned in. And I personally think it's respectful to keep the trash talk in the trash can. Even though in my younger days I could make many with my language cry. Oh, what? Must have dozed off. What? What? What's going on here, Hawker? No, I could make them cry with how bad I could talk. All right. So we have that up there, folks. And again, Discord is available. Hey, I'd love to talk with you. And paging any spacemen out there, you may want to check your site. But other than that, I hope y'all are having a great day. All right. Now with us over CPONE, we need to cross Zabnu. That's the only bad thing, folks. Sorry, 24,000. Okay. It got right in the way. So, you know what I did not check? Okay, hang on. We don't have the altitude set. 3,000 here. And all right, and then we're vectors, and then we're good. All right, cool. I'm glad I did that. All right, so that adjusted us to 55 miles. Okay, let me set us to 24,000. Now you notice it's holding the altitude. And it will until I either push, come over here to descent, click descent now. Don't count on it to pick it up on its own. So, and we're going to go ahead and set our auto brakes to level 3. Now, I am going to try something. I do not think they are set up for it. Let's find out. Nope. Okay. I was hoping that's the one bad. Oops, hang on here. Just go there. I was hoping, like most FMCs out there now, I don't care what sim you're on, Zebo, PMDG, LDS, blah, 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 blah. Usually you can pull up your METARs now on your FMCs. Obviously you can't with this one. So we will continue to rely on charts. And in order to do that here, all we do is open it up, go to the click here, and there's your METAR, which is now 39 minutes old, 180 to 11, gusts to 19, same one. Now, we talked about D-ATIS before. Let's just hypothetically say we were doing the reverse, going from Rockford back to Philly. Okay, now granted, this page would look slightly different. Reverse it. Right here's your ATIS. So from departure, I already know they have a special. It's 100, it's 19 minutes old. It's 100 at 3-mile visibility is pretty similar to what we had on takeoff. But I can already know roughly 2 hours away from descent to plan for 9 right, either the ILS Victor or the Victor for 17. Okay, and I'm also going to plan probably, well, no, that's still actually Cat 1 levels, so never mind. I was going to say maybe an auto land, but technically that is Cat 1, and you can technically fly that in if you're instrument rated. I don't know if I would want to. And since it's winter time, but it technically applies year-round, you have your friction codes. Meaning, at touchdown, pretty good braking. You're going to have good braking, good braking, good braking. Touchdown, midfield, roll-off. When we get temperatures at 0 or lower, these numbers could get really wacky. But anyway, gives you an idea of things you could do ahead of time. VATSIM will never have the runway codes. All right, just wanted to throw that out there. That ATIS, that D-ATIS, folks, is available on that website that I pointed you to on departure, as well as here in charts. All right, speaking of, we are 25 miles out. Arcam, Taupa. Now, with those numbers, I'm glad you put that up there, Hawker. Taupa. Takeoff. Oh, I can't remember the A. Landing Performance Assessment. Takeoff assessment? Anyway, it's what the pilots will take those numbers, put it in either to the FMC or charts in their books to figure out what additional factors need to go into braking. So let's just say we have a 3 on the runway we're going in, 333s. I will take that, put that into a chart in my plane. I don't think in the FMCs. I can't seem to ever find out where that data lies. But they'll take it into their charts, go through and make sure, 1, is it legal for landing? And 2, okay, what additional factors go into what brake setting I set to? Because remember, it's how well the aircraft is braking on the runway. So, anyway, Thank you for the assist there, Hawker. All right, we're within 14 miles. I am going to go ahead, try it. I did not work there. Let's just do a descent. Descend now. Now you'll see the famous descent bars of Boeing. You know, as long as this is showing what your uh, targeted glide path is for the approach. So long as it looks like you're on it looks like let's be honest, a glide slope for an ILS. As long as you're right there by that line, you're right in that sweet spot for the landing. Airbus puts a green dot down here, and as long as you're in this rough area, you're right in that where the onboard computers are telling you. Now it's saying we're getting below. Yeah, I have to think about it. And top of descent still shows ahead of us. That's why. So, speed-wise, we're pretty much right where we need to be according to the magenta lines here. So we're doing good on this one, and it will steepen here shortly. Hey, thanks for the Talpa ArcCam PDF form there, Hawker. We in the flight sim world, although X-Plane, we have gone into slick runways, and they're getting better at it. It is a very tricky dynamic to work with. But we did do it. Anchorage, where else would you expect to find a slick runway? And now this was in the early days of X-Plane 12. We really do need to get up there and try it out again. Try and catch a good day, good snowstorm up there. Shouldn't be hard. It's Alaska. And they're actually running way above normal this year. So, oh, by the way, speaking of snow, how many of you caught the news? I think it was yesterday. Yesterday morning. Lake Tahoe. Folks, if you're into wanting to fly in this stuff, go on out to Lake Tahoe. They're expecting 8 feet of snow. Not 8 inches, 8 feet. That's incredible. I just heard that. When I heard that yesterday on the news, I went, oh my God. Well, that means the airport's closed. But folks, that's something we in the sim world can go out and see what it's like. See what the runways are like. See, how it all works. Your best bet would be to see if you're out in that area. Tahoe, I don't know what Reno was expecting out of it. But if you could catch an ATIS where they have that, well, that could take till April or May there, Hawker, 8 feet. Oh, but anyway, that's incredible in my mind. Just hearing a forecast like that going, oh my God, I'm just staying home. 8 feet of snow. But again, that's when you want to know. Obviously, they're going to more than likely close the runway. Yes, I'm sure Lake Tahoe can handle just about anything, but until it lets up, they're not going to be able to keep runways clear. But that's incredible. Well, if you think about it, though, folks, Hawker, this time last year we were kind of talking the same thing. They didn't unbury from the snow that hit them until like June. People were up in the upper parts of California, the mountainous areas. They were shut in for quite a while. I know that there's gonna be more to that story, folks, coming than we're understanding. And where are we in this? Make sure we're not okay. So we're coming in. VOR do we have right here? Joliet. Okay, so we're crossing Joliet. So we're gonna do fine here by 24. Next is 13. But yeah, you're right. That's going to be another story coming out of this, folks, is that load on the buildings. How bad is that going to turn into? But yeah, I mean, I saw the system out there and well, actually, we flew out of Boise just ahead of it last night offline testing something. And wow. All right, let's set for 13,000 now. Make sure we continue our descent. That's what a lot of people sometimes miss. They'll get very close. See, we leveled off. So now we'll go to VNAV and start a VNAV descent. Okay, now our next fix has us at 250. So that's the other thing we have to watch for here. And it is showing it should set for 250 just ahead of it. Right up here's quote. That's our next one, 250. I set it to 13,000. Now, if you look at the chart, and I don't know how well you'll see this, he's kind of zoom it on you. You'll see a hold here, YOLO. That is to help you get down to 8,000 if you're high. And again, not on drugs. Although that might be why you're late getting to it. But anyway, just kidding. And let's just make sure ATC is still. Winnipeg's up and Mexico flight service is up. So anyway, folks, but anyway, yeah, I may check out Tahoe just for the fun of it, just to see how the sim is, how well X-Plane is doing the runway codes versus conditions. And should Austin be listening, those runway codes could help you in how to slick, how to make the runway appropriate at those that report it. We're all supposed to, 139 wise, but a lot of your general aviation ones don't have to report it. And in some form or another, they do it overseas too. I have seen them. So they may not be specifically the same way, but they do have something. But you have to look at the real ATIS and NOTAMs. All right. All right, folks, we are starting to turn into the home stretch here to Rockford. It is just due north of us. This hold here is our hold for the approach, which is Conan. So you know the runway's up in here somewhere. So we're really getting close. All right, and we see our, no, our speed bug is still set. Correct. Go ahead and kick in some speed brakes to help get us slowed so we can, all right, 2999. Whoops, wrong. All right, so we got the altimeter set. Let's double check that here. $2999. All right, folks. Oops, did I leave that open? Sure did. And we can put the speed brake back to bed. What a day it has been here in St. Louis, pretty much right here, Illinois, Missouri area. Just clear skies, beautiful outside. So I hope those of you that live in this area take advantage and enjoy it. You don't see that much here in March, early March, late February time frames. We're either worried if it's going out like a lamb or in like a lion. The weather. All right, now one thing, let me point this out. You see this green arc here, folks? That's projection of when you'll be. That's your 13,000 foot point. So if it's right at quote, we're doing good. Because then we're going to just roll right into YOLO here to 8,000. It's a little more pronounced in Boeing where that point is. It's hockey sticks in Airbus as to where your descent and top of descents and all of that are. All right, I'm going to go ahead, lower the range here. Okay, we're about to make that turn. Set for 18,000 again. Or I'm sorry, 8,000. All the time, folks, I try to keep that heading squared away because, especially on this next one, it goes to vector 010. That's delineated right here. So, but we're going to want to go direct. We're going to let it turn to 010, start our descent down to 5,000, and at POPOW, we're going to slow to 220, maybe even lower. We'll see how it works out. But always make sure your VNAV light is lit so that way you're descending at the best possible speeds. We are now approaching 10,000, so I am actually going to set 240. Reason being, that way it's a lot easier in case certain VAs want to gig you above 250. It's a lot harder. All right, and seatbelts on. Okay. Here we go for the descent. I'm going to change charts now. I'm going to keep it kind of wide right now, but as we get closer to the chart, I'm going to try to keep it centered. But as we get closer to the parameters here, folks, we'll adjust. $10,000. All right, at 10,000, checklists. Auto brakes are set. EFIS control panel decision height set. ILS we don't have to worry about. Descent set. Transition set. Runway lights are on. Landing. Nose gear lights. Speed brakes are set. VNAV is on. And we'll start our flaps per the schedule. Flaps up speed is 220. Okay, so we're going to start looking for Rockford. It's basically okay, we just crossed YOLO and I think we're high. So okay, I am going to come up one notch. I think if I do this, all right, we're going to go direct POPOW. And I am going to do this. Click, put, execute, LNAV. Initial ref. Okay, we are set up for the approach now, folks. Okay, so as you can see, that river, let me get back to that view. That river is going to snake pretty close, and if I've got it about right, airport, I think, is right there. All right, let's see where we are here. Let's go ahead. Where are we? We're still at 8,000. Just about 240, so I'm going to slow us. Okay, and you can see where I'm aiming for is 4,000. We have a 2,500 feet or above. Okay. Oh, they're shooting for that. Okay. Now you can see how that green arc comes into play here. Okay, so I can't disarm from there. Okay. Again, we got to be at 2,500 feet or above by Waget, and then 2,500 feet at Kagra. So, I mean, theoretically, we could stay high, but I'm trying to stay ahead of my plane so we can execute this. And that's the key, folks, to flying, is to be steps ahead of your plane in your setup. So when you get to that point, the airplane's already configured. Now we'll start throwing flaps out at Waget. $220 to 200 is a good speed for this turn coming up. All right, now I'm going to set my range. Okay, let's go ahead, slow up to 200. I am not expecting to see any navigational aids here with this approach, LPV. I should, maybe, but I'm not. At least something down here on the localizer. But it'll be what it'll be. get a notch flaps down. Let's begin our descent to 2,500 feet. All right, we're going to switch over to 118.1. All right, folks, we're about to turn inbound on the RNAV for runway 19. I am going to begin to slow us to 160. Pretty much looks like we follow this river right on into it, right around it. Okay, at Cagna now, we will begin our descent to 900 feet up here. And by the way, there's our radar altimeter. We're at 1,710 feet right now. Seven. Okay. On flaps 10. I got the runway in sight. All right, so all right, we're going to go ahead and allow the airplane to slow, and at Cagna, deploy the landing gear. Airplane's mine. Okay, here we go, folks. Little steep. Need to pick up the pappies, which are, by the way, on the left side of the runway. Rockford traffic, UPS 1018 heavy, 3-mile final, 19. Landing.
Minimums. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
All right, little long, but overall a good landing. I haven't seen the numbers yet. All right, auto brakes off. And now the long taxi. All right, I hope you enjoyed the flight from Philadelphia over here to Rockford. Compliments of UPS. Okay, and all right, so, oh wow, they have an international cargo area, huh? All right, so we'll be heading up to Gulf to cross over into the UPS area. I didn't know they had international cargo even coming in, so a lot of it's been relieved out of Chicago. Bear with me a second, folks. Kind of curious. I delivered a couple of loads nearby this airport. This was long before UPS moved in here. Pretty sure. Because they used to have a pretty big footprint in O'Hare till they started all of this realignment stuff they have going on. For instance, the tanker wing that we have at Mid-America. Well, they came from O'Hare, and they were located just north of would that be 27 left today? I think it is. Um, but they've been here at Scott now, better part of 20 plus years. Um, Still like to know how the heck they ran alert out of there in the 90s. But we'll never know. But then that became a cargo area. But then O'Hare started this. They wanted 6 runways east-west and 1 or 2 northwest, southeast. I think they got rid of those. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy over there. Oh my God, is it crazy? All right, so let's see here. After landing, AP auto throttles are off. Left and right directors off as we get ready to come up here. Auto brakes and speed brakes down. APU is and should be running, and it is. Rockford traffic, UPS 1018 heavy crossing runway 25. Like I said, they have a big footprint here, UPS. Yeah, this is it, folks. This is all UPS. I think I'm doing this right. I guess as long as I don't take out the fuel trucks and the buildings, we're doing good. I don't know what the heck. Just gonna park it the normal way, folks. I have no idea how the heck they park here. I think I really want to know. All right, folks, let me get rid of that up in the top there. We'll finish up the shutdown here, gens, lights. Radars are already off. And transponder to standby. All right, let's get up here, make sure we're on the jets. Oh, we are. The bleed is on. I'm not going to be able to reach them. All right, number 2. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm not sure how to park there. I'll look at the charts. Maybe there's a chart that tells me. I don't know. All right, now all that flickering you just saw, folks, was the aircraft doing its thing. Cut off, selectors off. And get to All right, we are good to offload. All right, welcome into Rockford. All right, let me. Oh, wow. 83 feet a minute. Holy mackerel. All right, let's see if I can find out quickly who had a. Okay, we 197 over here. All right, so I did? Well, what? Well, what the heck did you guess there, Hawker? I saw it way up at the beginning. You're usually in that ballpark. Oh, well. Yeah, it's personally rigged. Yeah, I set it up so that I can land like that. All right, folks. Let's take a look at it on Sim Toolkit, shall we? Now, remember at the beginning I said this is a really good training tool? Well, you're going to see how what I said, how we can help you improve your landings by knowing what you did. And then try to figure out how do I improve on that? Because that's the only way we're going to learn. All right, so let's first finish the flight. Okay. It's going to take us to our logbook page. All right, so give us a real quick synopsis. There's the route. Pretty simple. We flew, as soon as the details come up, 2 hours, 23 minutes, 642 miles, burned 11.6 kilotons of fuel, and 1 G on the landing, 197. For 140. That's actually pretty good. That's what helped make it a good landing. I'll explain. If you remember, folks, we were supposed to be about 143. Let me look at Top Cat real quick. 143, the fact that we came in and landed at 140, that puts us right in the ballpark. The only downside to this landing is that it was somewhat long. And I think I put a little too much power in to bring it up when I saw the red, and that's what caused it. But again, you're starting to see how this can help us. All right, real quick, we have to land, in this case, forward of the white line, so towards 19 and on. This is 500 feet. Your visual aiming cue is right here at 1,000 feet down the runway. Your PAPIs are right here. Your glide slope tower right here. So guess what? That's the goal. Put you down right here or as close as possible. Another 500 feet, another 500 feet. There we are, just outside the landing zone. Now on a 8,200 foot runway, 3,160 feet of that I ate up floating. That can be a problem, especially when Top Cat told us we needed 7,000 feet of runway. Well, we only had 5,000. So we used a lot more reverse thrust to help with the auto brakes. All right, and then again, when you start seeing these, you better be getting on your binders, your brakes. All right, let's see how they do this here. It's not helping me, folks, at all. Oh, I think it's because these lines that go here aren't there. Okay. Anyway, I just thought I'd look at the ramp and see. So there you have how Sim Toolkit is a little better. They don't go into that much detail on the approach. Now, another tool, when it works, is the rewind feature. Just clearing some things out, hoping to help it along. So let's try it. Flight, it's built into the sim. You got to disconnect from VATSIM. Shame on me, I know. Okay, once it clears, all right. Get some music rolling here. I think you all can see the runway out here. Okay, 1 second. All right, just getting a little eyeballed here. What we got going on? That really was not a bad landing. Let's take a look at it from some seats. First off, the first officer camera ahead of him. Not bad at all. And then let's take a look from a cargo's perspective. This could be worked on a little bit. All right, folks. Welcome again to Rockford. I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. And Suic, thank you, sir, for the resubscribe. We sure appreciate that. Hawker, we appreciate the moderation. And folks, we appreciate all of you that took the time out of your crazy Saturdays to be a part of Flying with Mike. Folks, I right now do not know what our next flight will be. It'll be at least Monday, if not later. But we'll have the schedule posted here as quickly as possible. Again, I want to thank you all for being a part of Flying with Mike. It is always a pleasure to come on and stream with you all and maybe pass a tidbit or two on. So, again, thank you one and all, and I hope you all have a great weekend, safe, and we'll see you next time. God bless you all. Thank you so much. We'll see you then.